Hello, assalamu alaikum, Jianu, Pakhair Agale, Ni Hao, Churashume, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, Ola, Boyor, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Halishuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabi up, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PET World and are watching World this morning on a very cold Thursday morning over here in Islamabad with Shazad Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that everybody who's out there, who's watching us, who's tuned into PT World right now, are doing great, are in absolute health, and are making sure that they're pursuing their goals. Ladies and gentlemen, every other day is definitely an opportunity for all of us to achieve and pursue whatever we want to be or wherever we want to be in life. And I think that's great. So it's about time that we rise and shine, wake and bake, get up, and be more focused about what we want to achieve in life. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, I think that there was an incident which I wanted to talk about yesterday. So lawyers and doctors are kind of upfront against each other, and I don't think that it's a very good omen, and I don't think that it's a very good practice as well. But in recent years, we have seen that lawyers have actually taken advantage of their responsibilities, and I think that at the same time, the Prime Minister has actually taken the notice as well. And I think that's a great omen in the first place. But we live in a state, ladies and gentlemen, and I think that the doctors or the lawyers or maybe anybody else really need to follow the rules over here. And for all of those people who've actually shown their character as hooligans, I mean, obviously I'm referring to lawyers over here without any offense, but I think that just because of all of that chaos, 2 or 3 people actually died within the hospital as well. And I think that this is a very sad incident. I condemn it in the strongest and the harshest of words as well. And please make sure that whenever you're out there and if you have your friends who are lawyers or doctors, that you talk to them that this is really not the way to go about it. But then at the same time, obviously, we have to move forward. And I think that the topic we have picked up on has to do quite a lot with what happened yesterday. Because, ladies and gentlemen, whenever we speak about being healthy, I mean, I don't know whether a lot of people are aware of the fact that what is being healthy. So the United Nations actually say that your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being is actually the 100% of your health. So imagine one can actually understand whether they're physically fit or not. You know, when you walk around, when you're doing your chores, you know whether you're physically fit or not. But I don't think that people are very aware of emotional intelligence or emotional well-being. And it's because of the fact that we have never made sure that we impart knowledge on this particular subject, even in our schools, universities, or wherever we may probably go, or even on television. So I think that this show is going to be first of its kind. It's because of the fact that this is something we are picking up on. Other than that, I think whenever we talk about mental well-being, nobody over here agrees to go and get it checked up. Even if they feel anxiety, even if they feel depressed, even if they have any kind of stress, they're like, oh, it's fine, it'll go away. But then there are situations where we have seen that the mental well-being was so important and people really didn't look after it, and there were so many stigmas attached to it that people actually lost control over what they wanted to do in life. And other than that, spiritual well-being, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's your connection with the Almighty. And in our religion, we have Allah. In every other religion, you definitely have somebody to look up to as well. So I think that that relationship kind of helps you build that spiritual stability within your own self. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we have picked up on emotional well-being. Now, whenever we speak about emotions, I know that a lot of people might not even get to that point, but I think that whenever we speak about emotions, it's the emotions who make us decide what we want to do in life. You know, when we cry, when we're laughing, when we are sad, I think that, and there are hundreds and thousands of different emotions with everybody as well. So I think that emotional well-being is very important. And if you're not going to understand emotional well-being, we're not really going to feel amazing. And it's because of the fact that every day when you wake up, you do not feel like going to work, you do not feel like doing anything, you do not feel like talking to anybody. I think it's your emotional well-being which actually hinders in between as well. So today and even yesterday, what happened, I think, is because of the fact that people couldn't understand their own emotions. And since it was a mob, so obviously in mobs, whatever the first 10 or the 15 people are going to do, the rest of the people are going to follow it as well. So emotional well-being is very important. That's what we have picked up on today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by somebody who's actually going to let us know, first of all, what is emotional well-being, and then how important it is for us to understand our emotions and then cope up with life. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's the emotions who actually help us. For example, You know, it's not necessary that the life is a fairy tale. You know, it's not like that. So there are setbacks, and people who recuperate or people who bounce back is because of the fact that they were in control of their emotions and they knew what to do. So I think that this is something which is very important for people to understand, and that's what we have done. So we have actually invited somebody who's got a PhD in emotional intelligence, and she's actually going to let us know, you know, how important emotional intelligence or emotional well-being is for us, and how to cope up with that, and what kind of digital solutions are available. Because, ladies and gentlemen, in today's time, out of every four, one person is actually not emotionally stable, or we must say mentally stable, and it's because of the fact that it's picking up. You know, on average, this is what Dr. Saiba actually told me, that, you know, a youngster uses his or her cell phone for 6 or 6.5 hours. Imagine the kind of impact they're having on their brains, and it's because of the fact that there's too much knowledge. Other than knowledge, there's too much news, there's too much of everything, and we do not know where to put the filters. So it definitely has an impact on us. But how to balance your life, knowing that you are emotionally stable, or whether you are emotionally stable or not, I think that's something very important. And since all the psychiatrists or all the psychologists cannot really look forward to 500,000 people, you know, which actually are dependent on just one psychologist or psychiatrist, because their number of psychiatrists and psychologists in our country is very low. So I think that we definitely need a digital solution. And to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very lucky that I've been joined by Dr. Faryal Razak. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you so much.
So before I ask you any question, all I want to ask you is, how are you, and how do you think is your emotional health so far?
To be honest, just because I have a PhD in emotional intelligence doesn't mean that I don't go through anxiety, I don't go through stress. But I'm a little bit better in that sense that I know how to well cope with it. But the stresses are there. The stresses are part of life. You can't even say that you can have a stress-free life. So emotions and stress and anxieties and setbacks are a part and parcel of life.
Exactly. But Dr. Saiba, you know what I wanted to ask over here was, thank you very much that you said that, because it gave me an idea that, you know, stresses with people from different walks of life are always different. I mean, for somebody who was born with a silver spoon, they probably want to buy a new car which they cannot manage. It's a stress. A person who cannot afford his son's or daughter's fee is a different kind of stress. But we will get into the depth. But what I want to know over here is, what is emotional well-being?
Okay, first of all, we need to understand what are emotions actually. Because we have always considered the knowledge of emotions such a taboo that we don't even want to talk about it. We have been conditioned right from the beginning, that we were raised that it's not okay to talk about emotions. I mean, and especially for the male part, I mean, I really feel sorry for you guys. You have been conditioned to tell that no emotions.
We have learned it the hard way.
Boys don't cry, and you are weak if you show emotions, and so you are conditioned by certain societal rules that this is the way you have to act unnaturally, because emotions are there, and you are being told that you are not about to talk or express them. Emotions, let me tell you, is a very unromantic thing. It's a biochemical rush in your body. I mean, it's something that is generated like, you know, any hormone is generated in your body. It's something like that.
Well, that's great. I'm going to stop you over there. But I think, and I can be wrong, and you can correct me, and that is that when you are expressing your emotions, especially the weaker ones, where you are crying, where you're full of stress, where you do not know what to do in life, I think when you share it with other people who really do not have a concern with you, they can kind of take advantage of that, no? And I think that's the only reason why people, or men in general, hold back their emotions, and they just do it themselves. They recuperate themselves.
Actually, you're very right. Emotions should be part of education. And this is what I'm fighting for, because the thing that you say, that the people who are a little bit emotionally intelligent, it could be a negative thing as well, because they can exploit the other ones who are not emotionally intelligent. Like the politicians too. So we have been all there, right? So we have known at least one manipulative person that can exploit our emotions, especially our children. They know how to exploit us.
So what kind of impact does emotions have on us? I mean, for example, if we do not, because this is one thing which I understood in my life at a very younger age, and I think that it has always benefited me, that you are always, I think, I mean, this is how it works within my brain. And it is that, you know, whenever you get an emotion, you really have to recognize that, and then that's your choice whether you want to be vocal about it or not. But to recognize an emotion is very important. So let's start from here. Why is it important to recognize your emotion?
You have nailed the question. Hit the problem in the bud.
I've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
you have done that. Because unless we are in a state of denial, how can we even address the issue if we are not even acknowledging the issue?
Exactly.
So emotions are there, whether you accept it or whether you don't accept it, whether you're in denial, whether you are not in denial,
Yeah.
they are there. I mean, they have been generated. It's a biochemical thing that is in your body that has been generated. Now it's the time that first, if you realize it, only then you can apply that knowledge to turn into behaviors.
Exactly.
Because if you don't turn it into conscious behaviors, it's going to manifest itself in a form of some sort of disease.
Exactly.
Because it has been released into your body, and your mind-body connection is there, and so much so that the scientists have studied the root causes of cancer, and what were the antecedent factors that led to the cancer.
Okay.
And all the cancer patients, majority of them had a major emotional event in their life before they got the cancer.
Okay.
So even emotional knowledge is linked to your heart diseases, diabetes, blood pressure, and even cancer.
All right.
So it has very serious ramification if you ignore this knowledge.
Yeah. So thank you very much for saying this. So how does it work? For example, I said that it is very important for all of us to recognize our emotions, and this is what I do. So when I'm sad, even when I'm happy, but there are millions of different kinds of emotions as well. And this is what so I'm in conversation with my own self, and I'm like, okay, Shahzad, this is something which went wrong, and this is how you need to behave about it. So recognizing actually helps that emotion to settle down. But then what is the chain process? Because you said that you really need to convert it into an action. How do you think that a sad emotion can be turned into any other action?
If you're sad,
Yeah.
there is no harm in crying.
Yeah.
It's body's mechanism.
Even by yourself. I
by
think that's
yourself.
that's a better idea.
That's not a better idea,
Okay.
because the science behind it says that if you let your emotion in front of a person whom you believe, but now it's the tricky part is whom you believe actually cares for you, lowers your state of emotion and the state of depression or the bad effects of those emotion on your body.
And you feel relaxed.
Even the hugs, they say,
Yeah.
if a person who actually loves you and says nothing and just hugs you, it releases your tension in the body, and the hormones that are released to put your body back to equilibrium state.
All right.
Because when the emotions and the hormones are there, your body is in a stress mode.
Yep.
They're trying to fight something. They're preparing your body, for all the consequences that emotions can generate to.
Okay.
So you have to come back to the equilibrium state.
Okay.
So that is important to understand, that sharing and having, a person who really care for you, a support system, is actually more important than being alone.
That's great, and thank you very much for saying that. And I think that that's the kind of that's the way how nature works. Because we will never see a species with only male gender in it. So whenever we see any other species, so there's male gender, there's female gender, and then they have babies. So everybody is in groups, and we are social animals as well. And it is very I think important for all of us to socialize, because other than that, a person who actually isolates himself or herself, after a longer time, people do say that, he might have depression, he might have anxiety, or he might have other problems as well. But we really need to put our head to that. Now, for example, when you said that, you always need somebody whom you can trust in, whom that loves you no matter what happens, how do we decide whether the person we are about to cry in front of is the right person we have chosen?
Actually, we have put our mind too much on the things, on the knowledge. It was basically in our instincts. Even a 6 months old know that which person is really caring and which person is pretending. So we are much better than a 6 years old, 6 months old. So we have, over the time, trying to put all the environmental sensations more and rely on them more than our instincts.
Exactly.
We exactly know which person, and there is a science and a lot of research that is back, that we used to say that first impression is the last impression. And it's true, actually.
Exactly.
It's your body mechanism against which was friend and which was a threat. So the moment you see a person, you actually know that whether that person was trustworthy to be a friend or is a threat. But we have conditioned because they are dressed up very nicely, they talk smoothly, and we condition ourselves, no, 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 that is a kind person.
Yeah.
So try to go back to your instincts. I think it's time to go back to the basics
Okay.
that we were given. So there are certain other ways, the body language. And
Can you
then
share
the
a few
gestures.
quick tips there? How do we actually analyze or decide whether the person is going to be true to us or not? So if you said that there are techniques, come on, share them with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that this is the most interesting part of the show. Please go ahead. How can we decide whether this person is loyal to me or not?
Okay, I can just tell you that if we, like you just said, that every person watches a mobile 6.5 hours
Yeah.
a day, and if you are there with that person, and that person puts his mobile over on the table, and he's trying to listen, and his eyes on the mobile, you know what does it mean?
He's
It
not
means
interested.
he is not interested in you, and the moment the mobile buzz or have a text, he's going to go. So you need undivided attention sometimes.
Yep.
So as little as this, how his reaction with the mobile is if he puts it aside and said, okay, I'm all ears, then that person is actually mean what he says.
Exactly.
And then body language says a lot of things. I mean, if you have the cues like if their shoulders are dropping in a certain way, if their neck is a little tilt, that means they're listening to you. Okay, and there are certain power postures. If he's like timid and looking at them, then he's judging you.
Okay.
If he's like holding like that and something like that, so that means he's judging you. So there are many body postures that you can see, and like I said, instinctively you can know whether it was he was genuinely interested on pretending.
All right. Well, that's great as well. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think what we need to talk about over here is, and I think that this is very important as well, where we actually mentioned, and even Dr. Faryal said that, out of every 4%, 1% is challenged with a lot of difficulties, and it's because of the fact that they never give due attention to their mental health, emotional health, physical health, and their spiritual health as well, which eventually ends up you being disturbed, obviously, and then you being mentally ill as well. And then obviously, so there's such a stereotype over here. Well, I know that in the urban areas, the situation has changed drastically. People are very well aware of what mental illnesses are now, and they are kind of seeking for professional help. But I think that we really need to do a larger campaign for that, and I think that everybody needs to join hands. But other than that, ma'am, so now if out of every 4%, 1% is ill or emotionally weak or mentally ill, or if there's a problem of that sort, it means that there's a larger number of people over in Pakistan who might be disturbed. And the kind of number we have, the kind of psychiatrists we have, the kind of psychologists we have over here, and the numbers they are in, I don't think that they can actually fulfill the requirement of all of those people who are not really very well. So we definitely need a digital solution. But I think that digitalization has actually played a very negative role in making people mentally and emotionally ill. And it's because of the fact that every day for 6.5 hours, if you're watching that there's been killings, if you're watching that there are people beating other people on streets, it is going to have an impact on all of us. So what kind of digital solutions can we look forward to, or how do you think that we can find a solution for all of these people who are mentally disturbed?
You've raised a very important question. Like they said that there is the solution in the problem.
Yep.
Like mathematics, when we had this word problems, so the solution was inside the problem. So this digital age, we cannot deny it. We are already going through this fourth industrial revolution. And this is the revolution of artificial intelligence and technology.
Exactly.
And this is IT-based technologies, and we can't deny it. And people, like in Pakistan, as poor country as Pakistan, 22% of the people have access to fast internet.
Exactly.
22%, 1 by 4, like almost 1 by 4 people. And 1 by, half of the people, especially the youth, has a lot of access to, mobile devices and all that. Like Maulana Rumi said that what you seek is seeking you.
Yes.
So what you pay your attention to it. Internet of thing is a wealth of knowledge.
Exactly.
Where you put your attention to.
Exactly.
If you are looking for some negative thing or trying to justify your affiliation with a party, you're going to search for that information.
Yes.
But there are a lot of digital solutions out there as well. But before that, we need to understand that internet is one of the cause of depression as well.
Yep.
And like you said, Facebook, there are certain type of disorders which were never there before this internet revolution.
Exactly.
And as per American Psychological Association, screen dependency is the new mental disorder.
Yes, it is. It is.
It is the new mental disorder. So why not leverage on that?
Yeah. So
If
how can we get that leverage?
If we make the digital solutions to emotional health a little interesting or something that people would look forward to, people are looking for solutions. And you were right when you said that the solution is like it's a pandemic.
Yes.
And only 10% of the people in Pakistan seek mental health.
Yes.
90% of the patients don't even go to anywhere. And they said that you have a weak faith. So I'm very inspired. Michelle Obama said that if somebody's leg is broken, you don't tell them that you don't have a faith in God, let it heal itself.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
treat it.
Exactly.
So why do you tell a person going through a mental disorder that you don't have a faith in God, heal yourself?
Yeah.
You can't. It's a
Exactly.
disorder. There has been a chemical imbalance. Something has wrong. Something is not right there. It has to be put back to balance.
Exactly, and I think that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to support this what Dr. Saiba said, and it's because of the fact. First of all, what people need to realize is that if, God forbid, one way or the other, unfortunately, there's a member of your family who's mentally ill. First of all, what the family needs to understand is that it is going to have an effect on them directly, and please make sure that you kind of recognize that impact of a person who's actually mentally ill. The second thing which I would love to for people to understand is that for that person, he's mentally ill. There's a chemical imbalance, and he might or she might not understand what you are trying to say, and it's because of the fact which actually comes to a conclusion that he's mentally ill or she's mentally ill. So what we need to do is that we need to seek professional help. But very quickly, since Dr. Faryal, you are here, how do you think in normal routine one can actually keep a check of their emotional health?
If you go to bed tired
Yeah.
and you can't sleep,
Yeah.
you're definitely going through some issues in your life.
Okay.
You are so tired that your body is like said it's time to shut down.
Yeah.
And your mind is 100% active. How many of us could relate that?
Exactly.
If I have to raise my hand, I would raise my hand, yes. I am one of those people who are physically tired, but when I go to bed, I have so many things going on into my mind because this is an unprecedented era of change.
Exactly.
So many things are happening, and we are fighting so many things at so many fronts.
Yep.
The workplaces have become stressful and tight deadlines, and you have to do this. And then there is a pressure of, society, and, this consumerism society has placed a lot of pressures on us as well.
Exactly.
We have to have this thing, we have to have car, nice
Indeed.
phone, nice
Indeed.
clothes, branded and all that.
Yeah.
So we have constantly in a state of worry actually.
Yeah.
So what we need to understand is disengage from the situation.
Okay.
Disengage from the situation, just cool down.
Yeah.
And that's why we need techniques like mindfulness,
Yes.
techniques like meditation,
Yep.
to just, watch the incident as an outsider.
Exactly.
We have to watch the incident as an outsider and then reflect back.
Exactly.
Is this reaction really necessary? The one that we are going to say.
Yep.
So let me tell you a very quick thing.
Sure. Go ahead.
And that is the
I
life.
wanna know. Come on.
The life of an emotion
Yep.
is just 90 seconds.
Okay. If you hold it for 90 seconds.
Oh
it's
yeah,
gone.
there you go.
Yeah.
You have mastered it.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
all
good.
you have to do is not do and do complicated thing.
Yep.
Just try to master that 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that.
Exactly. And decide after that.
And so breathings,
Yeah.
your deep
Breathe in,
breathings,
breathe out.
your meditations, your mantras that you
Yeah.
tell yourself.
And even, while we were speaking about digital solutions, ladies and gentlemen, I've actually seen and I've done it myself that, there are different websites on which you go. And then what they do is that they have these synchronized patterns. So what happens is that, once the patterns start to grow, you're supposed to breathe in. And once it starts to come down, you're supposed to breathe out. And it literally helps. to be very honest. But then thank you very much, Dr. Saiba, for being with us. It was wonderful to have you, and you definitely spoke very well. And ladies and gentlemen, my heart goes out to all of those people who can't actually understand or recognize these emotions. I think that the first and the foremost important thing for us to do is to recognize our own selves, our emotions, what we want, what we need, and then move on towards what other people want as well. And the only reason why I'm actually pressurizing or kind of putting force on making sure that people recognize their emotions, because once the emotion is out there, it's not going back. So it's better for us to recognize whether it's a sad one. Do not ignore it. You really need to calculate it in your head as well. And just one simple solution, which has actually helped me evolve as a very, I wanted to use humble and modest as a word, but I don't think that it's going to go with the conversation. But I think that I'm a very contentful man, and it's because of the fact that whatever is in my capacity to do for myself and for somebody else is something I think about. But for something which is not in my control, which I am not the one to decide for, I don't even think about it. I leave it on Allah Almighty, and everything turns out to be great. I think that that's something which is very important as well. But thank you very much, Dr. Saiba.
I would like to
Yeah,
add
sure.
one
Go
thing.
ahead.
You cannot control what's going on around you, but you can control your reaction.
Exactly.
And when you talk about the digital solutions, I too have my own app
Yep.
where you can find all the coping strategies for your self-help solutions for
Yep.
that.
And
so
that's great.
visit the Feel with triple E, the F triple
The feel.
E. Yeah.
So you felt it like literally.
With triple E's,
Yeah.
L.com. So you will find all the solutions there as
Yeah,
well.
so ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you log on to feel.com as well. And other than that, there are several other groups and startups who actually started working on the digital landscape of how we can treat people who are emotionally ill as well, or mentally ill. Please make sure to check it out as well. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to head out towards a short break. And it's because of the fact that there's one more important aspect in my life which I think heals my emotions. What is that? After the break. Good morning.
The ancient city of Taxila is the heart of stonework in Pakistan. This art, which has been preserved and practiced for centuries, can be seen on many major landmarks of the country. Notably, the Pietra Dura work in the Lahore Fort's Sheesh Mahal. These stone products take days to complete and require immense precision and skill from the craftsmen. The final products are perfect for souvenirs, gifts, and decoration pieces, each depicting the richness of Pakistani culture at its best. Camel skin and ivory craft are trademarks of Multan's handicraft repertoire. Camel skin is cleaned, dried, and mounted onto molds, which can be of any shape desired. Multicolored lacquer painting is then used to ornament the molds, which in the end bear a Mughal or Persian feel. Ivory is crafted into pens, chess sets, jewelry, and other accessories such as keychains by the expert craftsmen. Such detailed work, while being extravagant, is indeed a feat to achieve, and craftsmen of Multan produce beauty with their work which is worthy of global admiration. The enchanting arts and crafts of Pakistan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PT World, you watching World this morning alongside the one and only Shazad Khan. Earlier today, ladies and gentlemen, in the first half of the show, we were actually kind of raising awareness about emotional intelligence and emotional well-being and how important it is for anybody to strike a balance and have a healthy life. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that there are different tools which we can use to our advantage so that we feel great. And one of them is music. And whenever I have felt a little low, whenever I've felt a little sadder, I think the only thing which I've done is to put up some good music, listen to it, and one way or the other, it just completely makes you forget whatever you were thinking, and it's great. And especially we live in Islamabad, so riding alongside the mountains, it just helps you. And it's my own way of therapy. But other than that, this is what people say about music, and you know, so even if I listen to a very slower song, I feel more sad. But if I listen to an upbeat song, I feel great. I have all that energy and whatnot. But today, ladies and gentlemen, since over here and PTB Bowl, we make sure that we support talented people. So today what we've done is that we have actually invited somebody who's on his way to be one of the most amazing singers over here in Pakistan as well. He's learned it himself. He's a classical singer, and he is a maestro at what he's doing. And since he's not released a single video so far, but since he's on that journey, so we wanted to share that kind of talent with you as well. So ladies and gentlemen, with us today, we have a very amazing gentleman over here. He's none other than Mr. Sayyid Farooq Abbas. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum Assalam, I'm fine. What's about you, sir?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. Farooq bhai, so the first question I have for you is, why do you want to be a singer or a musician?
Since I was child,
Yeah.
I am fully involved in this field.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to do something in this field. I have
All right, by yourself.
ideas about
Yeah.
it. So I
So-
just want to accomplish.
So we have so many singers. You know, we have singers like Rahat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab, we have singers like Atif Aslam Sahab, we have singers like Sahir Ali Bagga, Aima Beg, and all of these people from the newer generations. Why do you think that there is still some more place for other musicians to come in, or do you think that whatever they're doing is just fine?
So you can say there is sport.
There's always a
little
window.
sport. You just have to expose yourself
Exactly.
in front of social media. You know.
So how come that you learned classical singing by yourself? Because for a classical singer, it is very important to have a teacher who kind of teaches him or her.
I'm inspired from the Mehdi Hasan Sahab.
Wow.
I have been listening him many times
Yep.
from my childhood.
Wow.
As well, Salamat Ali
Yeah.
Khan Sahab and many others.
Yeah.
So Rahat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab,
Yes.
Shafqat Amane Sahab,
Ustad.
Sajad Ali,
Indeed.
legendary singers. So just try to sing something.
All right.
I think I am having music in my soul.
Wow.
So I just want to bring up.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that for the very first time I've ever heard this, this sentence that I have music in my soul. What a beautiful thing to say. And the soul is actually going to be out there once he starts singing as well. So let's see what kind of music does his soul possess. So share something with us.
First of all, I would like to sing the song of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab Samre from Bandit Queen.
Let's do it.
सांवरे तोरे बिन जिया जाए ना सांवरे तोरे बिन जिया जाए जलूं तेरे प्यार में करूं इंतजार पिया किसी से कहा जाए ना सांवरे तोरे बिन जिया जाए ना जलूं तेरे प्यार में करूं इंतजार पिया किसी से कहा जाए ना सांवरे तोरे बिन जिया जाए ना यादें तेहारे मोरा मन तड़पावे सारी रे ना नींद न आए यादें तेहारे मोरा मन तड़पावे सारी रे ना नींद न आए देर की मारी देखूं रात हारी दो नैनों के दीप जलाए जलूं तेरे प्यार में करूं इंतजार पिया किसी से कहा जाए ना सावरे तोरे बिन जिया जाए ना
Beautiful that was, ladies and gentlemen. To be very honest, it was, I think it was very soulful, to be very honest, and I felt great as well. And whenever it's about classical music, you know, so for all of those people who can reach to those points in terms of their vocals, I think it makes you feel great as well, which is why I'm going to move back to Farooq. You definitely did a great job. But while you were singing, I could actually feel as if you definitely have that thing in you, which actually anybody would need to be a singer or a musician. But other than that, to be a classical singer is a very tough job. And to understand this genre in particular is very hard. How did you do it?
Again, I would like to say, I do not belong to music family,
Yeah.
as you know, but I was having the passion of the music
Yeah.
from the start.
Exactly.
When I was a childhood,
Yeah.
I also have been make participation in the different other programs
Yeah.
like Mankabat,
Wow.
Naat. So I decided right now. I decided to do something in the music.
Wow.
I think I am having a potential to do this.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
And you definitely have the potential, and it's great as well, and we'll always be here to support you as well. But with that potential, we need a lot of work to be done. And we need a lot of good music producers, composers, arrangers, lyricists, and whatnot. And I believe that if you get the best of everything, that's when you create a product which is loved by everybody. Don't you think that it will take you a little longer to actually get to a point where, you know, the best music producers, the best arrangers are with you in line, harmonized, and then you come up with your own production as well?
No, I have decided I have to be active myself at the social media. As you know,
Yep.
now the social media is the source
Yep.
from where the talent is rising,
Yes,
talent
exactly.
is growing and coming up.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to do something at the social media and start.
Yeah.
Secondly, I would like to make the team. I'm just trying to gather the people, instrumentals,
Musicians, yes.
and any others.
Yeah.
You know, individuals cannot play the vital role
Exactly.
right now.
Exactly.
No, so I am just trying to do something special.
So are you going to work on your album, or are you going to work on singles?
I'm not working on the album. I think I just want
Singles.
to release
So
single song.
okay, well that's great. But what does your family have to say about it? And
family doesn't have any objection
Okay.
also.
And they're
they
like,
are
for
still
whatever
not-
you want to do, please go ahead, do it.
They are also still not interested in my singing yet so far. But I think when I I will prove, then they will see.
Okay, but that's great. But ladies and gentlemen, right now, you know, since we updated it on our Facebook page as well, that, you know, that we are actually going to be joined by a classical singer over here on the show. So a lot of people actually requested us that, Mr. Farooq, can you sing the OST of Mere Paas Tum Ho? It's a hit drama serial these days, and I don't know what to say about it. I think that it kind of, I don't know, since I haven't watched a lot of episodes, I've seen a few, but I think it promotes extramarital affairs, which I didn't like kind of, but I think that it's the reality of today as well, and we really need to think about it. But right now, let's stick to the OST, Mere Paas Tum Ho.
भूल जाने का हुनर मुझको सिखाते जाओ, जा रहे हो तो सभी नक्श मिटाते जाओ, चलो रस्मन ही से ही मुड़ के मुझे देख तो लो, तोड़ते तोड़ते ताल्लुक को निभाते जाओ। कभी कभी ये मुझे सताए, कभी कभी ये रुलाए, कभी कभी ये मुझे सताए, कभी कभी ये रुलाए, फ़कत मेरे दिल से उतर जाइएगा, फ़कत मेरे दिल से उतर जाइएगा, बिछड़ना मुबारक बिछड़ जाइएगा, कभी कभी ये मुझे सताए, कभी कभी ये रुलाए। दे रे रे ना दे ना दे रे ना, मैं समझा था तुम हो तो क्या और मांगूं, मेरी जिंदगी में मेरी आस तुम हो, मैं समझा था तुम हो तो क्या और मांगूं, मेरी जिंदगी में मेरी आस तुम हो, ये दुनिया नहीं है मेरे पास तो क्या, मेरा ये भरम है मेरे पास तुम हो, मगर तुमसे सीखा मोहब्बत भी हो तो दगा कीजिएगा, मुकर जाइएगा, कभी कभी ये मुझे सताए, कभी कभी ये रुलाए, तेरा हाथ कल तक मेरे हाथ में था, तेरा दिल धड़कता था दिल में हमारे, ये मखमूर आँखें जो बदली हुई हैं, ये मखमूर आँखें जो बदली हुई हैं, कभी हमने इनके हैं सदके उतारे, जीना है तेरे बिना जीना है, तेरे बिना जीना है, तेरे बिना
And I'm definitely, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that for all of those people who were out there and were watching our show today are actually clapping for Farokh over here as well. Farokh, I think that you have a lot to contribute to our music industry, and I wish you best of luck. Thank you very much for taking our time and joining us over here today as well. And ladies and gentlemen, while listening to him, I kind of got a little nostalgic about the way we used to listen to Saad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab as well, or whenever I've attended Rahat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab's concert as well. And I think that he's definitely got that potential, and he's definitely got something very special to share with all of us as well. We wish you best of luck. But right now what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to say all my goodbyes to all of those people who are out there. And while I'm doing that, you can think about the last song which you are going to sing for all of us as well. So ladies and gentlemen, that was Sayyid Farokh. Please make sure that you kind of follow him on his social media platforms as well. Make sure that you look after your emotional intelligence and emotional well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being, and spiritual well-being as well. Please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of World This Morning. On Twitter, it's World This Morning without a G. On Daily Motion and YouTube, it's World This Morning. The fabulous repeat is going to be at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3, good morning. Let's do this.
And now I am going to sing a song of Javed Bashir sahab.
Go ahead.
साजन प्रीत लगा के साजन प्रीत लगा के दूर देश मत जा देश मत जा बसो हमारी नगरी में मोहे सुंदर मुख दिखला 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 हो कदिया मिलसा वल यार वे कदिया मिलसा वल यार वे मेरे लूलू चीख पुकार वे मेरे लूलू चीख पुकार वे कदिया मिलसा वल यार वे कदिया मिलसा वल यार वे मेरी जिंदड़ी होई उदास वे मेरा साजन आस न पास वे मेरी जिंदड़ी होई उदास वे मेरा साजन आस न पास वे